Thank you so much for being here today. It is exactly 6 p.m. and my name is Linda Mendoza. I am one of the agents, part of the Home Sellers 411 seminar. And once again, thank you so much for being here today. So in today's webinar, we are going to go over who we are as realtors, who HomeSmart is, a seller's roadmap. Today, specifically, I'm going to be speaking about divorce sales, bridge loans, and reverse mortgages. But there are other seminars every Thursday that will be touching on subjects regarding notice of default, probates, 1031 exchanges, investment property, trust sale, and all things that you should know when selling a property. So we are a group of professional realtors here to assist you with any and all of your home selling situations. We are with HomeSmart, and we all have lots of experience to guide you through your home selling venture. So HomeSmart was founded in 2000 by an entrepreneur named Matt Widow. And HomeSmart is the fifth largest and one of the fastest growing brokerage in the nation. Um, we are just completely devoted to personalizing all of your real estate objectives. And we're successful, driven, experienced realtors that are here to exceed your expectations. We're fully equipped with the, state-of-the-art technology and cutting-edge tools. And we're also in the 5,000 Hall of Fame for the seventh year in a row. In regards to the fastest growing company in the country. So we're all across the states. And of course, we are realtors, licensed realtors, and we do respect the equal housing opportunity. So my name is Linda Mendoza. Thank you once again for being here today. I have been a licensed realtor 7 years as of October 1st. So I'm very grateful to all of those that have trusted me with their real estate needs. I started off as a property manager 10 years ago, and now I'm your local Los Angeles realtor. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and urban development, and I love being of service to the community. I've always had an entrepreneur mindset. I've always dreamed big. I graduated high school by the age of 16, and by the age of 16, I had also opened up a beauty salon. So now I'm a top agent producer here at HomeSmart, and my number one goal ultimately is to work for my clients' best interest, to be of guidance and service, and to be here through the complex real estate transaction. I do have 3 kiddos, and I do spend my free time with them, and I really enjoy that. And also I enjoy, helping others achieve their goals. So thank you once again for being here today. So if you're in today's webinar, it may very possibly be because you're looking to sell in the near future. So you're wondering, maybe you're doing some research on, selling a current property. It could be your property where you're living at now or your investment home. And so you're in the right place. We're here to assist you with that and all of the different aspects for when selling, for the needs of selling. And so the seller's roadmap, if it's just a standard sell, this are the next steps that I'll be going over, are things that are going to happen, whether it's a divorce sale, whether it's a probate sale, whether it's a trust sale. These are the things that are going to happen majority of the time. So first step that when you're thinking of selling is connecting with a great realtor. You want to look for someone that's knowledgeable, experienced, and professional. Your realtor, if you give me the opportunity to represent you, what I'm going to do for you and how I'm going to offer you that excellence experience when selling your property is going to be by me doing the work. And When I meet you, I'm going to present you with a number of comparables, recent properties that have sold in the area from your property within the last 6 months or 3 months. You know, the smaller and the more specific we are, the better. So if there are enough comps with the same bedroom and bath count, great. You know, more or less 200 square foot in difference or 20% of square foot in difference, both interior and lot size. And I'm also going to provide, you know, estimates on other sources where you may be looking at and that are providing estimated values for your property. So public sources like Zillow, Redfin, realtor.com, and I'm going to give you that data and also give you data from professional sites. For example, Title Toolbox with Black Knight, our tax record that also provides a professional evaluation through Realist, HomeBots. And I'm going to bring all of the estimates to the table so you can see what the desktop evaluation, the desktop estimates are giving in a number of sources. And then we're going to run some numbers and come up with the median range. I'll also be providing some estimated values per square foot and based on comparables and also based on professional data that I'll be presenting to you. And so this is how we're going to analyze the fair market value for your property. And every scenario is different. So we're going to personalize your scenario according to your needs. That's what the sellers, the home sellers, 411 agents are going to do for you, including myself, if you trust me with the sale of your home. And, you know, it's very important when you interview an agent that the agent, you know, doesn't only talk about themselves. I briefly spoke about myself, and that's the only time that you'll, you know, probably hear me explaining anything about myself or introducing anything about myself unless you ask me to, because everything else, the transaction, the seller's process, it's so complex and there's so much information that when an agent directly goes there and talks about themselves, it's like, what else and everything are you leaving out, right? So I'm going to come prepared and I'm going to bring you the disclosures in advance so you can have those disclosures and you can take your time on reviewing them and completing them prior to even having the property on the market. If we have these disclosures in advance, we can eliminate those parties that may say, okay, the roof is 12 years old, I'm looking, or 20 years old, I'm looking for a brand new roof, or I'm looking for a brand new HVAC. We're going to provide these disclosures to the potential buyers. So if they're really not, you know, kind of on edge on buying or scared of buying or scared of, you know, a property that has older features on the home, that way they're not even bothering us, right? Or coming into stirring things up when really they're going to end up withdrawing later on. So I'm going to provide you those disclosures in advance so we're prepared and we have them available for potential buyers to review in advance. I'm also going to provide you an estimated net sheet so you know the numbers, so you know how much you're going to be netting, how much you're going to be paying for all types of fees regarding when selling a home. And I'm going to assist you with all of this data, all of this information with setting the price at fair market value, because when we overlist a property, there could be a lot, it could be a lot of trickling effects that can affect you in the long run. So I'm here for you. I breathe and I eat and I sleep real estate all day, and so you can trust me with your real estate transaction. So the next step, you've decided to move forward with me. We've signed a listing agreement. Now your property is getting ready to show. It's up on the MLS. We're going to be, prior to the property being on the MLS, we're going to have a conversation regarding staging. Will there or will there not be staging? And I'll provide you the benefits and the, you know, the pros and cons for staging. We're going to have a professional photographer lined up. We're going to coordinate showing availabilities. Lockbox. Can a sign be installed if you're in an HOA? What about the open house timeframes, if any? And how am I going to market your property? With internet ads, with door knocking, with real estate networking events. I'm part of a phenomenal networking event, networking club where real estate agents come together on an every 2 week basis and share pocket listings. So all of the agents that have potential buyers in advance already know that your property is coming soon. And so we also share this pocket listings through a podcast. And so all of this is planning to sizzle your property and get that heat going and activity going way in advance. And I'm going to circle prospect with any potential leads as well for you. Thank you very much for being here. If you don't mind just placing yourself on mute. Okay. Let me see here how I can mute all parties. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, step number 3. So we're all prepped. We have the listing up on the MLS. We've done the photography. We've talked about, prepping for showings, and we already know the showing schedule, the lockbox is up, the sign is up, and now your property is out on the market. Well, the next step is most likely if we price the property correctly in today's market, inventory is extremely low. So we should have traffic, showing requests, and possibly offers within the first couple of weeks of listing your property. And, that's ultimately the goal, that we sell your property at top dollar, stir up all of the potential buyers so they're the first, everybody is first and excited about your home and get you top dollar. So now we have multiple offers on the table. We're getting ready to review offers. My job at this point is to not only present offers as they come, or if you instruct me to present offers on a certain day, I personally like Monday or Tuesday to set an offer deadline, then I'm going to do an offer breakdown for you. So I'm going to provide side by side all of the details of the multiple offers, from purchase price to contingency time periods to down payment amounts and to deposit. So I'm going to break it all to you, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents and any red flags that I may see in any offer. And my job is also to connect with the lender, give them a ring and say, hey, is your borrow desktop underwritten? Can you send that over to me? Are we, well and assure that we can close this deal if my client decides to go with your client? So, I'm also going to provide you with advice on how to counter offer some of those terms. And we're going to set the stage so that we can move forward with opening escrow. Okay, if you are going to be needing a contingency to find a home of choice, there is an additional step. And right before or at the time that we're getting ready to accept an offer, we want to start looking at other properties. So we want to start looking for that new home. We want to start placing those offers and getting an offer accepted. And so concurrently, the first half of the escrow period on your home that you're selling is going to happen as well. So we accepted that offer. We're in escrow. Within the first 3 days, we want the earnest money to be deposited into escrow from buyers. My goal is to have the shortest contingency period from inspection, appraisal, and loan. In case you do have a property that you need to replace this current home with, we want to make sure that when we're writing offers, we're also presenting a strong offer. And the seller on the replacement home may feel a little unsure if we have our buyers for your current property still within a contingency period. So we want to have, the goal is to have the shortest contingency period so that indeed we can reassure if the property is going to move forward with if the transaction is going to move forward or not, way ahead of the game than later, right? So during the contingency time frame, it's usually 10 to 14 days if you're getting an offer with a buyer that's obtaining a loan. Usually within the 10 to 14 days, there's an inspection contingency period. And then there's also an appraisal where the appraiser comes out, evaluates the value of the property and says, yes, indeed, this property is at value or not. And then at the same time, concurrently, the loan is being processed and the loan confirmation should be within the 14 days. So an escrow period is about 30 days, and the first half of that escrow period is the contingent period. Now we're over on number 5. We're moving forward. The buyer has decided this is going to be their home. They've checked underneath the hood. They're ready to move forward. Appraisal came in at value. We negotiated any request of repairs because I do want to prepare you. There is going to be request of repairs. Even a brand new construction gets findings with the inspection. So do be prepared for that. And we'll have that conversation and I'll be preparing you all through that process. I'll be calling things out, not to call things out to make you feel bad about your home, but to call things out so you're prepared that these may be potential items that will be coming in the request for repairs. So we've negotiated all that. There's no more contingency. We have the full contingency release. If you're in an HOA, we have HOA docs. The buyers have fully removed. Now we're moving over to the second half of the escrow period, which is the non-contingent escrow period. And these are typically the last 15 days of the escrow period. Now, this is where the seller and the buyer meets with the notary to sign a number of different documents from the escrow, from the title, and the buyer's disclosures also go out, the closing disclosures, and the loan docs get signed by the buyers. Now, usually 5 days prior to close of escrow, the final walkthrough is conducted. So if there were any requests for repairs that were agreed upon, this is the time where the buyers will come back and verify. If there were no requests for repairs, the buyer can still conduct their final walkthrough to assure that the property is still in the same conditions as it was when they opened escrow and when they last were there at the property conducting their inspection. So, if you move furniture around and there is half of the floor gone and it's no longer there and you didn't disclose it. This is all of the things that I'll be guiding you to assure that you do disclose them indeed when needed. And that's why it's very important that the agents that you interview provide you with the disclosures and are not just sugarcoating their service. Okay. So this is the time that I will ask if you can jot down all utility contact information, gardener information, so that for the potential buyers, actually at this point, they will be the buyers. And then 2 days prior to close of escrow, the funding occurs. And the day that we close escrow is the recording day in LA County. Funding occurs 1 day prior, recording occurs the following day. And congratulations, at that point, we have closed escrow. There's still a step number 6 though, because after recording, on the day of recording, 6 p.m. is the time where turnaround keys occur if there was no additional time frame that was agreed upon. And the property must be left behind in approved swift conditions with all remote controls, clickers, combos left behind. I'll be here to assist you throughout all of that process. I then coordinate picking up the lockbox, picking up the signs, XYZ, okay? Okay, well, that was a lot of information. Once again, my name is Linda Mendoza, and today I'm going to guide you through the home seller process, which I just did, but also be a little bit more specific of a few topics. One of those is divorce sales. Okay, so you're in a divorce and, the sale of a property does not affect the divorce the process in the divorce, whether the property is going to be sold, has been sold, or will be sold. Really, the time frame of when the property is listed for the sale doesn't necessarily matter or affect the sale of the property. So we can list your property at any time during a divorce, before, after, during. And so what does need to be considered is the value, the assets of the property, because that will be part of the divorce settlement agreement between both parties. So the money is what counts. How much is the property going to give you both? Because then that's when it needs to be included in the settlement agreement. So a few questions to ask when when you're going through a divorce and have a property. And some of those questions are, who is staying with the property? Is anyone staying in the property? Is one party staying in the property and buying out the other party with equity? So this can be done through a HELOC, through a refinancing. So will that happen? Or do you guys need to sell and both parties are gonna leave the property and go their own separate ways? And if that's the case, then what's the current market value for the property? And how much money is owed on the loan? Because depending on how much money is owed on the loan, that's how much money you're going to be getting, right? Aside. So every asset that's acquired during a marriage, whether no matter how title is being held, it's still a marital asset. So even if one party is on the title report, and you purchased a home somewhere while you were married, and only one party is on the title, it's still a marital asset. So my number one duty is the fiduciary duty to be responsible and to provide both parties the same information. There's no favoritism. There's no taking side. I'm here to be the neutrality to both parties. I'm the neutral party to both of you. To really, the goal is to sell your property in the quickest amount of time at top dollar and to work for your best interest, for both of your best interests. Because at the end of the day, what's really important is how much money is going to come to the table. So I'm here to provide the same advice to both of you. I'm not here to be a part of arguments or any of that. I'm here to get the point straight across to both of you of what's currently going on with your property. Other duties of mine, as mentioned, I'm here to help you find the true fair market value of your home. I'm here to guide you through the showing stage. I'm here to guide you through the disclosures to the contracts. I'm here to negotiate on your best behalf when it comes to negotiation with the buyers. The whole A through C process, I'm going to be here for both of y'all, and I'm evenly going to be equal to both parties with no favoritism whatsoever. So just for your information, disclosing that you guys are going through a divorce is not necessary to the buyer. So don't worry about that. Some people say, I'm embarrassed of divorcing, or I really don't want to disclose it. Great, you don't have to disclose it. What we have to disclose is things regarding the property, nothing regarding your personal life, okay? Our job is to tactfully handle the emotional aspect of selling a property. Selling a property is already emotional majority of the time. So, if you're going through a divorce, it's even that much more. And so, we're here to facilitate the process, because any additional fighting, will cost both of you guys time and money. And we want to avoid any additional costs. We want to avoid any additional legal fees, any additional timeline. We want to avoid all that. We want to facilitate the process. And so the bottom line really is for both of you to listen to the experts like myself to avoid any pitfalls in the future. And, whatever it is that I could do to help, I'm just a phone call away. So at this moment, I'm going to stop and ask if there are any questions. I'm going to open up the chat box. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing a little bit about bridge loans. I'm not a lender, but I work hand in hand with a number of phenomenal lenders that you can trust. So a bridge loan is basically a short-term loan that is utilized by obtaining cash in advance. And usually this is when it's a transition from a current home to a new home. It is a very tough market right now. And if we have a contingency to sell your property at the moment, and close concurrently, there might be that offer that's also 50% down and has no contingency. So to have a more attractive offer, we want to have a non-contingent offer for your replacement home. And so this type of loan is phenomenal because you receive the money in advance so you can bridge over to that new home. And then so at some point you will have two loans, but you're going to pay off the loan when you sell your current home. And so that is basically, in brief, what a bridge loan is. It's money available from your equity temporarily, and repayment periods are between 1 and 5 years. There are those options where it can be an interest-only payment, and majority of the time, you do need at least 20% of equity built in the property so that you can pull that bridge loan. Interest rates are typically higher in a bridge loan versus a standard conventional loan. There are closing costs for bridge loans, and there may be a requirement for an appraisal. And at some point, yeah, you may owe two homes at once, and your DTI, your debt to ratio income, may be higher. But once you pay off that current home, once you sell it, then your DTI will go back to normal because now you've paid off one loan. So a bridge loan can also provide additional funds when, God forbid, in case of an emergency, in case of an event, a sudden event that you need, money in a time-sensitive manner. So if you are considering a bridge loan, just let me know. I have phenomenal realtors, and I'm here to guide you through that whole process. Now, a bridge loan, imagine if selling a home is already complex, you can imagine what a bridge loan process can be, even more complex. And so that's what I'm here for. That's why you want to make sure that you have experts on your side guiding you from A through Z. I'm also going to be sharing a little bit about reverse mortgages. So for homeowners that are 62 and older, this is a phenomenal, mortgage loan where it's a little different than the typical conventional mortgage, because instead of you, the homeowner, having to pay a mortgage, you're going to be getting paid. So on your current home, basically, the money is borrowed against the equity of your property. And so if you say, hey, I want to get $1,000 a month for the next 5-10 years, you can pull a reverse mortgage loan, still remain at your property, and be receiving $1,000 in a month. And so, instead of you making payments to the lender, to the bank is going to be getting you payments, and this money is tax-free. So reverse mortgage is a great option for those that are 62 and older and need a little bit more money on a month-to-month basis. It could also be in the sub-lump, or on a fixed rate, or it could also work as a line of credit. A reverse mortgage allows homeowners to borrow money using their home as an asset. So the money is coming from the equity of the property. And if you've owned your property for a number of years, the property can be very well paid off. And, you purchased a home at 150 grand, 20, 30 years ago, and now your property is valued at 2 million. You have $2 million in equity. So why not, right? Why not obtain a reverse mortgage if you want to live a little bit more comfortable and utilize your equity as monthly income? So the title still remains under your name. No change in title whatsoever. The amounts that you withdraw varies. It depends on the borrower's age, the youngest one. The youngest one does have to be 62, but it also, depends on the age of 62 and above. There are, varies of rates, and an appraisal is also required for a reverse mortgage. So I offered, a little bit of information, but this is just brushing up, just sprinkling a little bit of what the home seller process is when, it's a standard sale, whether it's, you're looking to buy and you need a bridge loan, or you need some funds on a month-to-month basis. Those are just a few topics, but there is a number of topics, as mentioned. You have your 1031 exchanges. We're going to be talking about investment property, tenant occupied property, probates, trust sales. And so we're here for you through the long run. You know, buying and selling property is one of the biggest investments in people's lives, and we're here for you. So this is my contact information. My name is Linda Mendoza. A few of my colleagues will be presenting within the next few Thursdays. But whatever it is I can do to help, you have my contact information here, and I appreciate you being here today. If there are any Q&As, I'll open it up to the floor, but please do remember that every Thursday from 6 to 7, we invite you to join us in this webinar, and we're gonna talk about all things real estate, specifically when selling different topics. So whatever it is I can do to help, just let us know. Let me stop recording this.